Welcome to our deep dive into Moroccan higher education.
Ooh, sounds exciting.
We've got some really fascinating sources,
Oh, yeah.
like
Love
academic syllabi,
Interesting.
presentations,
Cool.
even some handwritten student notes.
Wow. So we're getting the real inside scoop.
Exactly. We're
Yeah.
going for that insider's perspective.
I like it.
So imagine you're a recent high school grad
Okay.
standing at the gates of a Moroccan university.
I can picture it.
It's exciting, really.
Yeah, definitely exciting.
But maybe a little overwhelming, too.
Oh, absolutely. I can imagine.
Like, where do I even begin?
Right.
And that's where MTU comes in.
MTU.
It stands for Methodology of University Work.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's this course designed to equip students with the skills they need to
Alright.
thrive in this new environment.
To thrive in university life.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
It's not something I've come across before.
Yeah, it's pretty unique to Morocco.
Does it go beyond the usual study tips and things?
Oh, definitely. It covers everything from navigating the academic system
Yeah.
to understanding different learning styles.
Wow.
Time management, stress management, all of that.
So it's like a holistic approach.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
It's like a roadmap and a toolkit rolled into one.
You got it.
Now, Moroccan higher education in general
Okay.
is pretty diverse.
Yeah, tell me about that.
You've got public universities,
Mm-hmm.
private institutions,
Okay.
and even public-private partnerships,
So there's a real range of options then.
just like in many countries.
Right.
So does that mean different admission standards as well?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Some institutions are open access.
Okay. So anyone with a high school diploma can get in.
Exactly.
Okay.
While others are more selective.
So you might need higher grades.
Yeah. Or you might have to take an entrance exam.
Interesting.
But one thing that is consistent across the board
Yeah.
is this emphasis on personal growth
Okay.
alongside academic development.
I like that.
Yeah, it's not just about hitting the books.
Right. It's about developing as a whole person.
Exactly.
I'm digging this focus on personal growth.
Well, get ready for more because it's a recurring theme.
Now, you mentioned Morocco utilizes the LMD system.
Yes.
I know some listeners might be familiar with that,
It stands for Licensed Master and Doctorate.
which is a pretty common structure in many countries.
Yeah, you'll see that in Europe and other parts of the world too.
But does the Moroccan system have any unique aspects to it?
Well, the bachelor cycle, for example,
Okay.
which is 3 years long,
Okay.
it really emphasizes developing a well-rounded skill set.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just about diving straight into specialized subjects.
Right. It's about building a solid foundation.
Got it.
So in that first year, you'll have modules on things like foreign languages,
Okay.
digital skills.
Practical schools.
Exactly.
And of course, the MTU course we talked about earlier.
Which helps students navigate everything else.
It's all connected.
It is.
So they're really equipping students for success
Yes.
from day one.
Beyond just academics.
Right. Preparing them for the real world.
Exactly.
So we're seeing that theme of holistic development again.
It pops up everywhere.
But let's break down this bachelor cycle a bit further.
Okay.
How does it actually work in terms of like modules and credits?
So each year is divided into 6 semesters,
Mm-hmm.
and you have specific modules to complete within those semesters.
Okay.
Each module has a certain number of credits,
Mm-hmm.
which basically reflects the workload involved.
Okay. Makes sense.
And to earn your bachelor's degree, you need a total of 180 credits.
Okay, so it's all about racking up those credits.
It is a credit-based system.
That sounds pretty standard. Is there anything unique about how these modules are structured in Morocco?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
The first 4 semesters.
okay. So the first 2 years.
Exactly. They form what's called the Common Core,
A common core.
which is nationally harmonized.
Meaning.
It's the same across the country.
Wow. So it's a consistent foundation.
For all students, no matter what university they attend.
That's fascinating.
It is.
So let's say our hypothetical student,
Selma.
yes, Selma decides to switch universities after a year or two.
Okay.
Those credits will transfer seamlessly. It's a very flexible system.
It is.
And there's another benefit to this common core.
Oh, tell me.
Once you complete it,
Yeah.
you earn a general university studies diploma.
That's interesting.
So it's like a stepping stone on
Okay.
your academic journey.
Mm-hmm.
And it can actually be valuable in the job market as
Oh,
well.
that's pretty cool.
It's like a mini victory
Yeah. Like
before the big graduation celebration.
Right.
But what happens in that third year?
Okay, so in the third year,
So the focus shift.
the curriculum shifts
Okay.
towards specialization
Okay.
and preparing students for their chosen careers.
All right. So they start to narrow their focus,
Exactly.
but they still have those core disciplinary modules.
Yes.
And there's also an increased emphasis on professional skills
Right.
and real-world application
So they're really bridging that gap.
between academia and the workforce.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Okay, I really like that.
Yeah, it's very practical.
So let's talk about the learning process itself.
Okay.
What can a student in Morocco expect?
In terms of teaching methods and classroom experiences.
Right. Is it all lectures or is there something else going on?
Well, Moroccan universities, they offer a blend of approaches,
Oh, okay.
recognizing that students learn in different ways.
Oh, okay.
So you might have face-to-face learning.
Okay, the traditional classroom setting.
Exactly. But then you might also have distance learning.
So online courses.
Yes, and they also have hybrid models.
So a mix of both.
It's all about flexibility and catering to different learning styles.
So Selma might have lectures in a traditional hall one day
Right.
and then participate in an online seminar the next.
Absolutely.
That's cool. I like that variety.
Yeah, keep things interesting.
Now, beyond those structured class times,
Okay.
is there an emphasis on independent learning?
Oh, definitely. Libraries are seen as hubs of knowledge,
Okay.
and students are encouraged to do their own research,
Right.
explore different resources, and work on their academic writing skills.
So it's really about taking ownership
Yes,
of your learning journey.
that's exactly it.
You're not just passively absorbing information.
You're actively engaging with it.
And I like that.
It's a much more active approach to learning.
But let's be honest, university life anywhere can be stressful.
Oh, yeah.
So what kind of support systems are in place in Morocco?
Okay, well, first of all,
Yeah.
remember that MTU course?
Right. The methodology of university work?
Exactly. That course equips students with essential skills
Okay.
for managing their time,
Mm.
handling stress,
Okay.
and even understanding their own learning styles.
So it's like a built-in support system.
Yeah, you could say that.
Plus, during their first year,
Yes,
students are assigned a tutor.
a tutor.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I haven't heard of that before.
It's pretty common in Moroccan universities.
Okay, so every student gets a personal tutor.
Pretty much, yeah. And these tutors, they act as mentors,
Oh, okay.
guiding students through coursework,
Mhm.
exam preparation,
Right.
and even just adjusting to university life.
So they're there to help with the academic and the personal side of things,
Exactly. They're a really valuable resource.
especially for those first-year students.
Right, when everything is new and a little overwhelming.
I can imagine.
But what if after a while,
Yeah.
Selma realizes that her initial field of study isn't the right fit?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Is she stuck?
Well, thankfully, no.
Okay, good.
Moroccan universities have this system called gateways.
Gateways, yeah.
Okay, tell me more.
Basically, they're transfer options
Okay.
that allow students to change their field of study,
Okay.
either within the same university or by transferring to a different institution.
So it's a safety net
Yeah, it is.
for students who might be feeling a bit lost.
Exactly, or unsure about their path. And it takes a lot of pressure off that initial decision.
Right, because you know you're not locked in.
You have options. And what's even better is
Wow.
that you can retain those academic credits you've already earned.
Oh, that's great.
It's all about giving students the flexibility
Okay.
to find their true calling.
I love that.
So we've talked about structure and support,
Right.
but let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
Okay, the important stuff.
Grades.
Yes, the thing that keeps students up at night.
How are students evaluated in the Moroccan system?
So for each module,
Okay,
there's a written end-of-semester exam.
so that's a big part of the evaluation?
Yeah, but it's not the only thing.
Okay.
There are also continuous assessments throughout the semester.
So like quizzes and assignments,
Yes, actually.
presentations,
Yes.
maybe even internship reports.
Depending on the field of study.
So it's a much more holistic approach. It's
Right.
not just about one big test.
Exactly. They're looking at your overall performance and progress.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a fairer system.
Now, those modules we talked about earlier,
Yeah,
they're not all created equal in terms of credits.
that's true.
So how does that work?
So the disciplinary modules,
The one's focused on your specific field of study.
exactly.
Right.
Those are worth 4 to 5 credits each.
Okay.
Then you have the foreign language modules
Mm-hmm.
and something called power skills modules.
Power skills.
Those are worth 3 credits each.
You've mentioned power skills a few times.
I have.
What exactly are those?
We'll delve into those in more detail later.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
But basically, they're the skills that go beyond textbook knowledge.
Okay.
Things like communication,
Mm-hmm.
critical thinking,
Okay.
problem solving,
Essential skills.
teamwork, all of that
The things that make you stand out.
in any field.
Okay, power skills, we'll be back to you.
We will.
But for now, I'm picturing Selma trying to juggle all these modules,
Yeah.
credits assessments, It sounds like she'll need some serious time management skills.
Oh, absolutely. Time management is key.
And thankfully, that's a key component of the MTU course.
It is.
They don't just tell students to manage their time.
Right.
They actually provide practical techniques and strategies.
Very hands-on.
Can you give us a sneak peek
Sure.
into some of these time management strategies?
Okay, so first of all,
Yeah.
they emphasize that time management isn't just about scheduling.
Okay, so there's more to it.
It's about self-regulation
Okay.
and motivation.
So it's about understanding yourself.
Expand.
Own tendencies,
Yes.
identifying your peak productivity times,
Right.
and developing a system that works for you.
It's very personalized.
Okay, so it's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
No, not at all.
Now, do they offer any specific techniques?
Oh, yes, they do.
Okay, like what?
Well, they introduce students to things like the Pomodoro technique,
The Pomodoro technique.
which involves breaking work into focused intervals. And they also talk about the concept of eating the frog.
Eating the frog.
Yes.
Is this some kind of motivational metaphor?
It is.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It means tackling your most challenging task first thing in the morning.
So get the hard stuff out of the way.
Exactly. And the rest of the day feels much easier.
I can see how that would be empowering.
It is.
You start the day with a sense of accomplishment.
And momentum. It's
Exactly.
a really effective strategy.
So we've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
And it seems like the Moroccan higher education system,
Yes,
it's really focused on setting students up for success.
absolutely.
Not just academically,
Right.
but in all aspects of their lives.
They want students to thrive.
And they have those amazing support systems in place.
Yes, they do.
The MTU course,
Mm-hmm.
the personal tutors,
Is very supportive.
and the flexible gateway options
They really are committed to guiding students.
on their journey.
That's a good way to put it.
It's very impressive.
I think so, too.
Well, before we move on to part 2,
Okay.
I want to leave you, our listener, with a thought-provoking question,
Right.
knowing what you now know.
About the Moroccan higher education system.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you think it compares
Well-
to systems you're familiar with?
That's a good one.
What aspects stand out to you?
That's something to think about.
It's a great question to ponder.
It is.
We'll be back soon with part 2,
Looking forward to it.
where we'll dive deeper into those power skills
Okay.
and explore how Moroccan universities approach information retrieval.
Sounds fascinating.
Until then, happy learning.
Happy learning.
Welcome back to our deep dive.
Glad to be back.
Last time we were talking about the structure of Moroccan higher education.
Right. That emphasis on personal growth.
And those intriguing power skills.
Yes. Those are fascinating.
But today,
Yeah.
I want to talk about how students actually navigate all the information they encounter.
Okay. That's a great question
Because there's a lot of it.
there's a ton of information out there.
So how do they make sense of it all?
Well, that's where this emphasis on information retrieval comes in.
Okay.
Moroccan universities don't just assume students know how to research effectively.
Right. They don't just throw them in the deep end.
Exactly. They actually teach it as a skill.
Interesting.
And it all starts with understanding that not all search engines are created equal.
Okay, so we all use Google,
Right.
but is that really the best tool for academic research?
That's a good question. And it's one that Moroccan universities really want students to ask.
So they encourage them to think critically.
Exactly about the purpose of their search.
Okay.
If you need a broad overview,
Yeah,
those open search engines are fine.
like Google.
Yeah. But for more targeted academic research,
Okay.
they teach students to use more specialized databases and resources.
So it's about choosing the right tool for the job.
Exactly.
So are we talking about obscure databases?
Not necessarily obscure, but definitely more focused. So, for example, they might use a platform like JSTOR.
Okay. Yeah, JSTOR for scholarly journals.
Exactly.
Okay.
Or a specialized database for legal documents if they're studying law.
Makes sense.
The key is understanding the strengths and limitations of each tool.
So they're learning to be research ninjas.
I like that analogy.
Precision tools instead of a broadsword.
Exactly.
But even with the right tools,
Yeah.
finding relevant information is just the first step, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So what happens next?
Once you've found the information,
Yeah.
you have to evaluate it,
Okay.
critically evaluate it.
And that's another skill they teach.
Oh, yeah. It's huge in the Moroccan system.
Interesting.
It's not enough to just find something.
Right. You have to make sure it's reliable
Exactly. Accurate and relevant.
to your research question.
That's the key.
So it's about developing that discerning eye,
Yes.
not taking everything at face value.
Question everything.
Are there specific strategies they teach for this evaluation process?
Oh, for sure.
Like what?
Well, they teach students to question the author's credibility,
Okay.
consider potential biases.
Right, because everyone has a bias.
We all do.
And cross-reference information with multiple sources.
Always get multiple perspectives.
It's about developing that critical mindset,
Absolutely.
which is so important these days,
Oh, it's essential.
especially with all the information overload
Right.
and the spread of misinformation.
We're bombarded with information from all sides.
It can be hard to know what to trust.
That's why these evaluation skills are so crucial.
They help you filter out the noise,
And get to the good stuff.
the reliable information.
Exactly.
So we've gathered all this information.
From various sources.
Right, we've evaluated it.
Made sure it's good.
Now, how do we organize it?
Okay, well, here's where a technique called mind mapping comes in.
Mind mapping. Okay, I've heard of mind maps.
But you haven't tried it.
I haven't actually used them.
You should give it a go.
Maybe I will.
It's a really powerful tool for visually representing information
Oh, okay.
and making connections between different ideas.
So I always thought of mind maps as something for artists.
I can see why you'd think that.
Is it really applicable to academic research?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
In the Morgan system, mind mapping is seen as a practical tool for any student.
So not just for the creative types.
No, it's for everyone.
Interesting.
Think of it like creating a visual map
Okay.
of your research topic.
A map of information?
Yes, you start with the central idea in the middle.
Okay, the main topic.
Exactly. And then you branch out
Okay.
with keywords, concepts, supporting evidence.
So it's like a tree.
Kind of, yeah, with branches and sub-branches.
So you're turning this jumbled mess of notes into a structured, interconnected web.
It's a way to make sense of the chaos.
I can see how that would be helpful.
Yeah, it helps you see the bigger picture
Right.
and make connections that might not be obvious otherwise.
Okay, mind mapping officially added to my learning toolkit.
Glad to hear it.
But let's talk about something else
Okay.
that can be a major obstacle to effective learning.
What's that?
Procrastination.
Oh, the dreaded procrastination.
We all struggle with it.
Oh, yeah, at some point in our lives.
So how does the Moroccan system address this?
Well, what's interesting is that they approach it
Yeah.
not just as a time management issue.
Okay, so there's more to it.
They see it as a psychological phenomenon
Okay,
with different root causes.
that makes sense.
So they distinguish between two main types of procrastination.
Two types.
Procrastination in the face of duty
Okay.
and procrastination in the face of desire.
Those sound intriguing. Can you break those down for me?
Sure.
What's the difference?
So procrastination in the face of duty.
Yeah.
Think of that as the classic avoidance scenario.
Okay.
It's when we put off tasks that feel overwhelming, unpleasant,
Yeah.
or anxiety-provoking,
Oh, I know that feeling.
like staring at a blank page,
Yeah.
and suddenly you have the urge to reorganize your entire desk. That's avoidance procrastination.
Okay, and then there's procrastination in the face of desire.
Right. This is when we get sidetracked by things that are more enjoyable.
So more pleasurable.
Exactly. Even though we know we should be focusing on something else.
That's the siren song of social media. Netflix.
Anything that offers instant gratification.
That's a tough one to resist.
Oh, it is.
So the MTU course recognizes that these two types of procrastination
Yeah,
require different strategies.
they do.
So for avoidance-based procrastination,
Right.
what do they suggest?
Well, it's about breaking tasks down
Okay.
into smaller steps.
Make it less daunting.
Exactly. Set realistic goals.
Okay.
And find ways to manage that anxiety.
So it's about making the task feel less overwhelming
Exactly.
and building momentum.
Right. Small steps lead to big progress.
And for desire-based procrastination,
Okay, so for that one,
what are the strategies?
it's about understanding the power of distraction
Okay.
and developing strategies to minimize it.
So like creating a dedicated workspace.
That can help.
Okay.
Limiting access to tempting websites.
Like social media
Right.
or using techniques like the Pomodoro technique.
The Pomodoro technique is great for that.
We talked about it briefly last time.
We did.
Can you remind us how it works?
Sure, so basically you set a timer for 25 minutes
Okay.
and you work on a single task
Okay.
without distractions.
No checking your phone?
No phone, no email,
It
nothing.
becomes focused work.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then you take a short 5-minute break
Okay.
and you repeat that cycle 4 times.
Okay, so 4 cycles of 25 minutes of work.
And 5 minutes of break,
And then,
and then you take a longer break.
okay, so it's like a rhythm
It is.
of focused work and short breaks.
It helps maintain concentration.
And prevent burnout.
Exactly.
I like it. I'm adding the Pomodoro technique to my arsenal.
I think you'll find it really helpful.
But what about that other technique?
Which one?
Eating the frog.
Oh, yes, the frog.
What's that all about?
Okay, so no real frogs are harmed in this technique.
Okay, good to know.
It's a metaphor.
Okay.
Eating the frog simply means tackling your most challenging or dreaded task.
Okay.
First thing in the morning.
So get the unpleasant stuff out of the way.
Exactly.
And then the rest of the day feels easier.
It's a powerful technique.
It's like a mental hurdle you overcome.
Yes. And it sets a positive tone for the rest of the day.
Okay, I'm starting to see a theme here.
What's that?
The Moroccan approach to higher education.
Yeah,
It's very proactive and practical.
it is.
It's not just about acquiring knowledge.
Right.
It's about equipping students with the skills and strategies.
They need to succeed in the real world.
Exactly. It's very much focused on real-world application.
That's a great observation.
And that emphasis on practical skills,
Yeah,
it's really evident in their approach to time management.
it is. They go beyond the basics.
Because we all know we should manage our time better.
Right. But it's easier said than done.
So what sets the Moroccan approach apart?
Well, they start by recognizing that time management
Yeah.
is not just a scheduling problem.
Okay. It's more than that.
It's a self-regulation challenge.
Okay.
It's about understanding your own tendencies,
Okay.
identifying your peak productivity times, and developing a system that works for you.
So it's about becoming the master of your own time.
Exactly, instead of letting time master you.
Do they offer any specific techniques or tools?
To help students achieve that mastery.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, they do.
If like what?
Well, they introduce students to the Pomodoro technique.
Which we talked about.
Yes, and they also emphasize the importance of prioritizing tasks.
Prioritizing tasks.
Prioritizing tasks.
Okay. Based on their urgency and importance.
That sounds straightforward enough,
It is in theory.
but I imagine it's easy to get caught up
Oh, yeah.
in the whirlwind of assignments and deadlines.
It can be overwhelming.
So how do they teach students to prioritize?
Well, they use a simple but effective matrix
Okay, a Madra.
that helps students visualize the urgency and importance of each task. Okay, so you can see it laid out.
Exactly. And then you've got your do first tasks,
Which are,
both urgent and important.
okay, gotta get those done.
And then you've got your do next tasks,
Which are,
important but not as urgent.
okay, so you create a hierarchy
Exactly.
to make sure the most critical tasks get done.
That's the goal.
And it helps prevent that feeling of being overwhelmed
It does.
because you have a plan.
You've got a system.
I like it.
So by combining techniques like the Pomodoro technique,
Mm-hmm.
task prioritization,
Yeah,
and understanding your own learning style,
right.
students can really enhance their efficiency and effectiveness.
It's all connected.
It is.
Okay, so we've covered research skills.
Yes.
Procrastination strategies,
Right.
time management.
What else?
But even with all of that,
Yeah.
university life can be stressful.
Oh, definitely.
So how does the Moroccan system address stress management?
Okay, well, first of all,
Yeah.
they acknowledge that stress is a natural part of life, especially in a demanding academic environment.
Right. It comes with the territory.
Exactly.
Hmm.
They also emphasize the importance of understanding
Okay.
the different types of stress
Different types of stress.
and how they can impact us.
I've always thought of stress as just stress.
Right. We tend to lump it all together.
Are there really distinct categories?
There are.
Okay, I'm listening.
So they distinguish between productive stress,
Productive stress.
unproductive stress,
Okay.
and paralyzing stress.
Okay. That sounds intense.
It can be.
But productive stress, that sounds like a contradiction.
I know, right?
Huh?
How can stress be productive?
Exactly.
Well, believe it or not,
all right.
a certain level of stress can actually be beneficial.
Really?
It can motivate us to work harder,
Mm.
focus more intently,
Okay.
and perform at our best.
So it's like a healthy level of pressure.
Exactly.
It pushes you to do your best.
That's the idea.
But then there's unproductive stress.
Right. And this is the kind of stress that starts to interfere with our ability to function.
Okay, so it's not helpful anymore.
It's detrimental.
It's when worry and anxiety take over.
Exactly.
And you can't concentrate. You
No.
can't make decisions.
You can't even sleep properly.
That's the kind of stress that leads to procrastination.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And those late night cram sessions.
Fueled by caffeine and desperation.
Exactly.
Not a good place to be.
And if left unchecked,
It can spiral.
into paralyzing stress.
Exactly. And that's when it becomes really serious.
And that's when you're completely stuck.
Frozen by fear and anxiety.
And it can lead to mental and physical health issues.
It can have a real impact on your well-being
So it's important to address it
early on.
before it gets to that point.
Absolutely.
So how do Moroccan universities help students with this?
Okay, well, they equip students with a range of strategies.
Okay.
From practical time management techniques
Mm-hmm.
to mindfulness exercises
Okay.
and relaxation techniques.
So it's a holistic approach to stress management,
It is.
addressing both the mental and physical aspects.
Exactly.
They also emphasize self-care,
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
getting enough sleep,
Essential.
eating healthy foods,
Right.
engaging in regular physical activity.
all of those things contribute to managing stress.
It's about taking care of yourself.
Yes, making yourself a priority.
So it's about recognizing the signs of unhealthy stress and taking proactive steps to manage it.
Before it becomes overwhelming.
Right.
And they also encourage students to build a strong support network
Okay.
of friends, family, mentors.
People you can turn to.
Exactly.
And they emphasize that seeking professional help
Yes.
is always an option.
It's a sign of strength, not weakness.
I really appreciate that they address the mental health aspect
It's so important.
to destigmatize seeking help.
Absolutely. Everyone needs support sometimes.
Okay, so in this segment, we've talked about research skills,
We have.
procrastination strategies,
Time management.
stress management.
It's all connected.
It's all part of that holistic approach
That Moroccan universities take.
to student success.
They want students to thrive.
Not just academically, but in all aspects of their lives.
That's the goal.
And they provide the tools and the support to make that happen.
It's a really impressive system.
I'm feeling incredibly energized and equipped after this deep dive.
I'm glad to hear that.
Are you ready to explore those power skills in more detail?
Oh, yes. Bring on the power skills.
We're back for the final part of our deep dive.
Time to unravel the mystery of those power skills.
You've been teasing these power skills all episode.
They are pretty cool.
So what makes them so powerful?
Well, Moroccan universities recognize that success
Yeah.
goes beyond just absorbing information.
It's about applying that knowledge.
Exactly. And that's where power skills come in.
Okay, so I'm picturing Selma.
Or hypothetical skill.
Yes, armed with these power skills,
Ready to take on the world.
ready to conquer any challenge.
That's the idea.
So give me some concrete examples.
What kind of skills are we talking about here?
Yeah, what falls under this umbrella?
Okay, well, think about the skills that employers are constantly looking for.
Okay, like what?
Effective communication.
Okay, both written and oral.
Yes.
Essential.
Critical thinking.
Good.
Problem solving. Teamwork.
Right, being able to collaborate
Exactly.
and adaptability.
Being able to adjust to new situations.
Those are valuable skills, no doubt.
They are in high demand.
But how do they actually teach and develop these skills in a university setting?
Is there like a Power Skills 101 course?
Right?
Well, there might not be a course with that exact title,
Okay.
but these skills are integrated into the curriculum in different ways.
Okay, so it's not just theoretical.
No, it's very hands-on.
So Selma might find herself presenting research findings.
Yeah, that's a great way to develop communication skills.
Okay, or collaborating on group projects.
Perfect for teamwork.
Right. Or even engaging in debates.
Oh yeah, debates are great for critical thinking.
So they're creating these experiences.
That allows students to practice these skills.
In a safe environment.
Right, where they can get feedback.
And refine their abilities.
It's all about learning by doing.
It's like a mini version of the real world.
Exactly. They're simulating those real-world scenarios.
Which is so valuable because...
It's one thing to read about teamwork in a textbook.
Yeah, but it's another thing to actually experience it.
To navigate those dynamics.
And to deal with those challenges.
And to reap those rewards.
And beyond those specific tasks and assignments, Moroccan universities foster a culture that values these skills.
They do.
So professors often encourage active participation in their classroom.
Right. They want students to engage.
To think critically.
To challenge assumptions.
To come up with creative solutions.
It's about creating a space.
Yeah.
Where these skills are not just taught.
Right.
But actually valued and practiced.
It's about creating that mindset.
Of curiosity, collaboration.
And a willingness to embrace challenges.
As opportunities for growth.
And those are qualities that will serve students well.
Beyond the classroom.
In any field they choose to pursue.
Exactly. These are life skills.
It's amazing to see how the Moroccan higher education system weaves together so many elements.
It's impressive.
Academic knowledge, personal growth,
practical skills,
and these power skills.
It's a holistic approach.
It really is.
And it's a reminder that education isn't just about accumulating information.
Right. It's about empowering individuals.
To become active, engaged, adaptable contributors to society.
I'm leaving this deep dive feeling incredibly inspired.
Me too.
The Moroccan approach offers some valuable lessons
that we can all apply
to our own learning journeys.
No matter where we are in the world.
Or what field we're passionate about.
It's a universal message.
This deep dive has been a journey of discovery.
It has.
We've explored the structure of the Moroccan higher education system.
The emphasis on personal growth.
Those impressive information retrieval skills.
Those power skills.
And so much more.
We've covered a lot of ground.
And we've seen how Moroccan universities empower students.
To become lifelong learners.
Effective communicators.
Critical thinkers.
And adaptable problem solvers.
They're preparing students for the future.
It's a model that's both inspiring and thought-provoking.
It is.
We hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity.
And given you some food for thought.
Until our next deep dive into the world of knowledge.
Happy learning, everyone.
Happy learning!